Right, what about this then? So the other player I want to talk about, and then we'll get into some of the more matchup things, is obviously the new addition to the team, ropz, who was only able to play part of the tournament, right? When this addition happened, it's obviously not the same as just like a random player joining a team. Like when Monacy joins G2, like Alexi B doesn't know fucking anything about Monacy. He has to essentially learn him from day one. Obviously, Carrigan already had ropz, and it did look like in the Blast tournament when they dropped him in the team, basically immediately it's just worked. So, Alan, maybe I'll start with you for this one. What have you thought of ropz in FaZe Clan thus far? And now that, did you actually think... obviously, they played some games even without him in the team. Like, what have you thought in general? I thought it was an interesting sort of A/B testing scenario we got to see.
a rare one like that, yes. That's for sure. But yeah, I've been incredibly impressed by ropz. And I think the first thing for people to understand about FaZe Clan now is now you've got ropz and Twist, who have both played, especially on the CT side, essentially all types of spots. And maybe even on the T side as well, to be honest. So between them, you have so much flexibility in how you're going to set up your roles on the CT side. And that's probably why JKS is playing so well, because JKS can just say, okay, I want to play this spot. And you've, by miracle, got two players that could basically play anywhere on any map. So it's super easy to fill it in. And for me, it's pretty amazing watching how they play together. They actually sight together on quite a few maps, which is a little bit surprising because I thought they'd both be rotators. But when they sight together, it works so well. And actually, an aspect is ropz's secondary AWPing, for me, has come along really far in the last, whatever it's been, maybe year and a half, because of course he didn't really used to hybrid at all back in the day. So that's a really big kind of boom for this team, is having a very stable secondary AWPer. But yes, ropz has been extremely impressive. CT side, he can play any role, and he plays all of them extremely well. And T side as well, it's kind of the same story with him and Twist, where they can literally do anything. They're both Swiss Army knives. And yeah, it's just, for FaZe and for Carrigan especially, it helps them so much having two players like this, where you can just run so much on the fly. It's so much easier to mid-round when you're doing a late exec and someone else is the nade. It doesn't matter if they're going in first or last, because they're just money at all points in the round. So actually, for me, it's a bit bizarre. I'm kind of, in my head, I'm almost blending them into the same player, because I think they fulfill very similar things for FaZe Clan. But for both ropz and Twist, I've been amazed how good they've looked so far in the tournament. And it really does speak volumes for where FaZe is going to go moving forwards when there isn't, a stand-in scenario. So I do think in the coming months and maybe year or so, those two as a power duo, as a duo of riflers, might be the best in the world at the kind of what they're fulfilling for FaZe. Okay,
what do you think, T?
Oh, for me, the ropz move, everyone saw it coming as, for a while people have been asking for it. And the way he fits into the Carrigan system, the roles, the positions, it just all made sense. And now we see it actually happening. And do you think, yeah, great. It was a perfect move. Everyone knew it was coming. Even, the plebs looked like geniuses because they all thought it was going to be coming too. The combination with Twist kind of surprised me. Like the way they play together, as you mentioned, like that kind of shook me, but it works, and that's what counts, right? That's really all that matters. I do think when they've got the full roster and they just start actually chugging along, getting their practices in, getting their actual big events in, we might see some things a bit different compared to this tournament, because I think this tournament is a bit of an outlier for them specifically. But no, ropz was a slam dunk move coming in, and he's looked like it ever since. Like, honestly, he looks like the ropz of old, the one who played under Carrigan, the one who actually did play really well in mouse sports, unlike the one we saw at times last year who just didn't quite hit the right notes for me.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.